Today's episode is all about sales, and sales is such a powerful tool and it helps you create your business being more profitable. And that's, I guess, what we all want, really. And, it really doesn't matter if you want €1,000 each month or €20,000 each month. It's really a lot about mindset as well. So that's what this podcast is also very much about, but also a lot of techniques, because sales is actually a skill. It's not something that you just have to be very good at. No, you can really learn it. It's not like singing, it's not like acting or like dancing. No, you can actually learn this, and sales is for everyone. So enjoy today's episode. This is Big Business with Sarah, the podcast for entrepreneurs who want to continue building their business and understand you should never stop learning. One of my clients who joined my sales challenge lately told me that she thought that sales was nothing for her. She didn't like it. She didn't like the term. And I wanted to create an episode that is fun, that is showing that sales can be really, really a lot of fun. And I'm going to share some personal details with you about my own income levels, every month for the past year after my pivot, and how you can do this too. And I want to show really the human side of the business, because it can be so hard to sell yourself and your products and your services. So I'm right here helping you to make it much better for yourself. And whilst I'm saying this, I'm thinking about when I was working at Lush, which is a soap and skincare store. It was so easy for me to sell, and I loved it. I loved, reaching those targets, because we did have targets every day, and upselling, downselling, showing people the products. And because I believed in it, I loved the products. I loved the fact that it wasn't tested on animals, but also it made me just very happy because it was all happy colors and very vivid smells of everything. And still, when I'm joining, when I'm joining the shop, when I'm visiting the shops, I like that the people who work there are always so enthusiastic about all the products and are so happy. So, that's really part of that brand. And I'm always so surprised that with my own services, because I don't have products. I wanted to say products, but I do have products, but it's going to be much more. But currently I'm really selling my service, is that it's so much more difficult. And so I want to help you, create that Lush mindset into your business. So you know that I pivoted my business from an interim manager to a business coach. And I did that back in January 2022. So that was the moment when I decided I don't want to take on any more freelance interim jobs, which would allow me to, which would give me a lot of time to build on my business as a business coach. And so that was the beginning of this year. And maybe you're listening to this the next year. So it was January 2022. And actually, I had saved up a lot of money, because I knew that I needed time and money to invest in my pivots. I needed that. And also my word for this year was, and still is, comfort. So I wanted to pivot, but I didn't want to work my ass off. And that's what I did the year before. And that's why I could create those savings. But actually, with knowing that I would have a completely different offer, a completely different ideal client, actually, and also having that comfort word, and I really wanted that, has made it very much a challenge. But actually, that's why I want to share this with you, because I thought that, sometimes, you have this idea, or you hear from business coaches or, any coach say, no, you have to work really hard and, just really go through grind and hustle culture and everything. And I think that's completely toxic. So I would never, ever advise you to do it. Yes, of course, sometimes you have to put in the work, but it doesn't have to be every week. And I'm seeing so many people do that. I think in my entire career, or no, let's just say, for example, for the last year, so it's been half year business coaching, and before that I was interim manager. I guess I worked one weekend day and never in the evening. So because I think it's so so important to have those boundaries to protect yourself. Anyway, having an entirely new business model, a new ideal client idea, and spending a maximum of 30 hours per week in my business. So I work 5 days a week, maximum of 6 hours a day, because I know that I've read everywhere that that's the most productive, time that you spend in your business. So I wanted to try that, and it works really well. But that's maybe for another episode. This was a big challenge for me. And at one point back in March 2022, so 2 months in, I realized that I needed to change my strategy because there was some money coming in, but it was not as much as I hoped. I can be very honest about that. So I needed a new plan. I wanted to change my course, not my course as in my program, but the course of my strategy. So I implemented this in April, and since then I made at least 10K months from May on, because that was my goal. And I'm spilling all the dirty details in this episode with you. And I'm also giving you a lot of tools on how you can apply this as well. So I'm not really talking about what you should do to reach your 10K months, even though that might be your goal, or it might be 100K, or it might be 2K. It really is not so much about the number. Actually, that's also a very interesting topic whilst I'm saying this, because if you can make 2K, you can also make 10K or 20K, right? So yeah, another time, but I'm getting some ideas here. So aside from, having my bank account that was running out, my mindset was absolutely not in place. So the funny thing was that, it's about the money, but it's also about, getting the energy from people wanting to work with you. So I needed a strategic mindset plan. That was really the problem there. And so I had to believe in my products, which I actually really did. And I started to create because I wanted to feel my product. I wanted to understand my product. I sold my course, so my program, my big business program, I sold it once. And that's when I started to create and really build, my legacy. And I really believe in the program. So I didn't yet, but now I do. And I did kind of believe in it, but I just needed a little bit more proof. So that's what I did. I stepped into the action mode and I said, you know what? One program sold is very good, so I can start creating. So I also stepped into the possibility that it was already happening very well for me. So that I knew that this was exactly the path I should take. And maybe you think this is a little bit strange, but, if you believe that, the steps that you're taking are the steps that you have to take or that you should take, it's so much easier believing in that. So I'm also teaching my clients, if you're looking back at your career, your definition of success is always so different, right? So, for instance, if I'm thinking 5 years ago, I had a completely different idea of where my business should be right now. But actually, it worked out much better for me because I discovered online entrepreneurship. I discovered that I can learn so much in a fun way, and it actually already has worked out really well for me. So those practicing gratitude, practicing believing that it's already out there is something that really helped me a lot. So, do whatever you want with this exercise. It's up to you. And the third thing I did to create a better mindset is to go out there and to talk to 10 people every day. And so I created my very own sales challenge. And the thing was with this is I think it's so surprising that I did not talk to anyone before. And I really don't know exactly why. I mean, I did talk to people, of course, but I wasn't really getting very deep into this. And I think I was just too shy to show up because to me it was very, very new also. And, I'm 36 years old, I shouldn't be too shy, but I was very shy about online entrepreneurship. I thought it wasn't for me. I thought it was very much a Gen Z thing. And so, no, that was a conversation that I couldn't have. So because I had those conversations, so I did challenge myself to talk to 10 new people every day. And because of that, I could adjust my brand messaging very easily by having that conversation instead of, for instance, a sales pitch. And I was also understanding my clients' niches better, which would help make my products even better because I understand what my clients wanted and needed. And so the more conversations I'm having, and now, right now, I'm coaching a lot of people, so I know much better, what my ideal client was. But that right there in the beginning, I didn't. So in April, I spoke to 10 people every day. And so I spoke in 250 people in total because I don't work in the weekends. And also I was following up on other messages I had sent before. So in the end, I had a lot of conversations. And being able to show up and to have that conversation really has made my business so much better. And now that I'm saying this, by the way, I have to admit I need to challenge myself a little bit more again. So if you want to join my challenge, actually, let's do this until the next podcast. So 1 week to speak to 10 new people every day. So that's going to be 5 work days for me. And so that's going to be 50 new people every day. So back in April, my main focus was Instagram, but now it's starting to be more on LinkedIn, which I recently gained, 150 new followers because I started posting on LinkedIn every day since the beginning of August. And I'm thinking there's also an interesting ideal client for me waiting there. So maybe the Instagram, I will still keep on doing the Instagram. But I've discovered that LinkedIn is probably much more for me because I'm so much focused on experienced entrepreneurs. By the way, I am planning to do a LinkedIn podcast, I think in 4 weeks. I've just made my planning for the entire until the end of the year. So then I will share some insights on why I think that sometimes LinkedIn is better for you than, for instance, Instagram or YouTube or TikTok. By the way, I really do believe that TikTok is so very good. But yeah, I can't really say because I do gain quite some followers, but I don't have any strategy right there. So how should you get about? Because you can actually steal my methods right here and maybe you can really do it for the upcoming week. So how to start? So the first thing I want you to think about is, what is your income goal this month? And so right now it's September. When I'm recording this, it's the 20th of September, but this will be released the 22nd of September. So what is your income goal for this month? So it's still a few days left. Maybe you could focus on your income goal for October. So how much of what you have do you need to sell to reach that goal? So let's say you have a product suite. I'm calling that a product tree with my clients, by the way. And you have one high tier offer, a medium tier, and a low tier offer. So to reach, for instance, your income goal, you need to have to sell 1 high tier offer, 2 medium tier offers, and 3 low tier offers. This is just something I'm making up here. So, and then I want you to make a list of 30, or maybe in this case, 50 people you want to contact and think of which offer fits them. So actually be quite focused right here. Yes, of course, you can just start a conversation, see what's happening. But just make that list and kind of already write down which offer you think works for them. And then you can always change that, during the conversation, because maybe, someone needs something completely different than you thought of before. And then just contact 10 people every day off that list. And, ask how they are doing and try to discover the transformation they desire, because they're following you, or maybe they've emailed you, or, there's some, maybe they're on your email list, and they've clicked a lot. There is probably something that's triggering them, and maybe you are offering something perfect for them. but maybe they desire an under the counter offer that you have. So that's not something that you're really, making promotion for, that you're saying, yes, I'm also offering this, but maybe you think, oh, you know what, I can also help you with this. And so, don't be too focused. So for instance, for me, this was back in August, I made my first 20K month. And it was very interesting because I was actually thinking of having my first 25K month in September and, through the Mastermind. And now it was already in August, and it was with completely different kinds of programs. And I was like, yes, okay, well, fine. I mean, I made it. So, it doesn't have to be exactly what you have planned, but it's just, if you have a plan in place, it can always change, but at least you have a plan. So, and lastly, I want to also ask you, maybe get into that mindset as I did, as well. So maybe, I want to ask you to journal on what is stopping you right now from reaching your sales goal. So maybe you don't want to talk to people. Maybe you think your ideal clients aren't actually as ideal. Maybe you don't have time for this. There could be all reasons, or maybe you don't have a reason to do this. I mean, you're listening to this right now, so I guess you will need some increase in your sales, because else you would have thought, oh, you know what, I'm not going to listen because I just need a bigger team to help me, get more sales, which is also really great. But so journal on what is stopping you from your sales goal. And then lastly, the seventh thing you can do is to decide how much time you want to spend on contacting people and actually do the sale. And, this could be 10 minutes every day. This could be 1 hour every day. It's really just depending on what you think it's worth. And it also depends, of course, on what you're selling. If you're selling €2 products, then of course it's going to be quite hard to contact people. And I mean, that's not really a big return on investment right there. But, if you're offering a program or a service of, I don't know, 2,000 to 5,000 euros, I mean, how bad is it to spend 1 hour on, landing that sale? So try to also unfold a little bit, how much time do I want to spend on this? And, because in that way you will actually release the emotion from the sales process. So one of the things that is really, really going to help you is to follow up on your sales conversation. So imagine you contacted 10 people. And today you're doing the same. And then, after 5 days, you have contacted 50 and maybe 10 responded. So, it is really your job to follow up on the conversation, of course, of the people who responded. That's very clear. But also the people who haven't responded. It happens to me so often that I receive a lovely message from someone and that I'm traveling, or my mind is somewhere else. I'm writing a text. I'm maybe recording a podcast. So, it's so important to understand that it's not always, it's okay to follow up, and it's okay to check, hey, did you receive my message? And, after 4 times, if nobody responded, yes, okay, of course, then it's done. But I mean, at least, once, get back to your previous message. And so if you find this exercise, or if you find this creepy, maybe go back to that mindset exercise that I just shared with you. Why don't you want to follow up? And so in that following up, really show a genuine interest. Selling is building relationships. You're actually helping people with your service. So, one of my clients right now, I think she already wanted to work with me for 1 year because she knew that I was going to start doing this. And now she stepped in because she said, yeah, I really just need an accountability partner. And I really just need to know, what the next steps are and to have, to pick something from your experience and, that you can help me further. So sometimes it's really about that, and it's fine. She was taking her time. I'm taking my time. It's all good. So if you've had, for instance, you've contacted people, 10 of them responded, 2 of them wanted to do a sales call, then after that sales call, do not forget to follow up quickly. So about 24 to 48 hours after the sales call, see if somebody wants to work with you. Maybe they decide immediately, but really do not forget to follow up also on that sales call. And I also want you to imagine, what is the worst that could happen? Okay, you could get a no, but maybe you can also downsell or cross-sell or maybe even upsell because they think, your program is a little bit too low tier and they really want to have a private connection with you. And another thing about following up is not forgetting about asking for testimonials. So you are building a tribe. Let's not forget that. This is really Seth Godin's marketing guru mindset. And I really strongly believe that you are building tribes. And so showing what you have to offer to other people who don't know you yet. So following up is not so much chasing, but it's really finding that ideal client that you want to work with. And it does get easier every day when you're doing this. Trust me, I know. So really, before I started online business coaching, I was never, ever selling. People would just come to me. I mean, I was selling, through my work because people were so happy with me. They talked to other people. And then, that's when they decided to work with me. So that was my sales strategy, air quotes. And it does get easier because I know it can be a little bit, difficult, but yeah, no worries. All right. And lastly, I want to talk about receiving objections. And this is it's very normal actually in every sales process. I remember, getting no from people. So this was also, a little bit in my pre-sales period. So, about a year ago, I remember, if somebody said no, I would, just send out the breakup email, and I would think nobody ever, this person would never ever want to work with me. But actually, if somebody is giving you a full story on why this shouldn't work for them, then actually they are asking you to maybe help them make that decision. So I want you to listen to the objection and also acknowledge the objection. So if somebody's saying, I don't have money, then you can say, okay, I understand. I think it's very wise that you're, thinking very well about your finances. And you can discover even more by asking more questions, about that objection. So you don't have the money. So, okay, you don't have the money now. What is something that we can do? Maybe we can think of a payment plan. Would that work for you? Or maybe you want to pay afterwards instead of at the beginning. You should be a little bit, aware of that, but, you can actually offer that. And then respond with a solution. So, having that payment plan and having maybe, anything else that you come up with to help someone make that decision. And so common objections really are lack of budget, trust, lack of need or urgency. So for instance, with the lack of budget, it's most of the time, it's not about, I don't have the money, but it's more about, I don't think this is worth it, right? So for instance, if I want to buy a new pair of shoes, then I would be, actually for shoes, I think it's very important to me that I have really great shoes and not shoes that are, that hurt me during walking or whatever. So I want to pay a little bit more for a shoe that's comfortable. And I'm convinced that a certain type of shoe is better than another type of shoe. And maybe they're a little bit more expensive, but I don't care. I just want to, walk very, well and without blisters. My 5,000 to 10,000 steps a day. That it has to be on great shoes. So really show your worth right there. And if somebody's, maybe not saying something like, oh, no, I want to work with this person or with this service provider, then there's probably a lack of trust. So then it's time to work on your niche authority, work on your visibility on social media, maybe get some PR going, maybe become a guest speaker. I also made a podcast episode about this. I don't remember which number it was, but it's called Captain of Industry, and I will link it in the episode right here in the description. So work on that. So if it's a lack of need, maybe people don't think that they need it right now, dive a bit deeper into the pain that they have. This sounds very bad, but try to see, they are probably thinking, I should work with you or I should buy from you, but they're not really sure yet themselves. Help them discover if this would be the right moment for them. Or maybe it's going to be in half year, okay, just try it, for yourself. And, then if it doesn't work out, you come back to me. And or it's lack of urgency, and maybe they are right and you didn't dig deep enough. It could be all kinds of things. And I think with sales, it's very, very important to also have a long-term long-term perspective, because sometimes people are just not ready to buy, and it's totally fine. Of course you should try to land the sale, but you know what? If someone just needs a little bit more time and you're saying, okay, that's fine, come back whenever and I'll be here. That's actually great. So we talked about so many things. So we first spoke about, challenge yourself. And this has really helped me. I worked on my mindset, and then I started my own challenge. You can also do a week challenge, so that you're going to contact 50 people every day. 10 people every day, 50 people in total. Just get to know them, have a genuine conversation. And then once you're getting into the sales conversation, follow up and try to work on those objections and see how you can handle them and turn them maybe into a client, or maybe turn them into a fan who will become a client maybe later. So there's something that I've created 1 or 2 months ago. Well, actually, it was already a few months before that, and that's a sales strategy training. And this helped me a lot. Making my own strategy and also getting a little bit more, less into my emotions and more into the numbers. So, and I wanted to provide this for free for everyone, really. And so I will also link that training. It's a 20-minute training, and I've already received a lot of lovely feedback, actually. 20-minute training, it's for free. I will link the link in the description. And this could also help you, really. That's more about the long term, because a sales challenge is, very, very short term. But I'm also going to challenge myself to do the same. But, the thing is, it's really about just, trying everything and see what works best for you. There is still 1 week left to join my mastermind. The doors close on September 28th. Already a few people stepped in, and actually today it's going to be the kickoff call. And no worries, you can watch the replay. And the next round will start in February, so that's 6 months from now. And I'm just very excited to do this. So if you're thinking, I really want to work on my business, mindset, sales strategy, maybe marketing strategy, and just really get a business that you're happy in, I'm very happy to support you. So I wish you a very happy day. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and let's start selling.